So, welcome to the first ever live Tesla analysis for 2024. And we're going to go through them all this way because I do want to give a disclaimer. I feel like when I do these in text, in writing, people skip the disclaimer. So, first of all, there are a list of variables that need to happen in order for this price target to go into effect. Now, of course, again, anything can change at any given time. There is no such thing as a crystal ball. I just happen to be very accurate in my analyses. And so I wanted to wait until a few more things came out that I was waiting on just to see if it was going to happen before 2024, because I had to rewrite the analysis for and the price target for Tesla quite a few times this year. I know people were getting kind of upset, and I understand that. It's just you have to understand things change a lot, variables change, and this isn't like some Barron's nonsensical analysis where they just throw some crap out and here's some nonsense to make everybody happy and pay some money. I like to try to analyze everything as best as I can, and things change, especially for Tesla this year, has been bouncing all over the place, right? So we had the first numbers were around 387,000 deliveries for Q1 of 2024 for Tesla. Now, of course, you have these random people at these places, again, like Barron's or Wall Street Journal, who aren't real analysts. They're journalists, and they say, oh, it was supposed to be 400,000. Oh, 387, not good enough, right? So they overanalyze things, and they also don't fully understand the entire picture. So first of all, I'm going to tell everybody the price target, and then I'm going to explain my reasoning behind it and what variables need to happen this year to hit that price target. Now, I think we can see 300 plus by the end of the year for Tesla. However, you have to keep in mind of a few things. Number one, Elon Musk had already stated that he is going to show off, he didn't say release, he is going to unveil what I call the Model 2. I've called it since day one. I even tweeted him, said you need to call this the Model 2 so it can be too sexy, right? Because you have the S, the 3, the X, and the Y, and that's a sexy acronym for their models. So too sexy would be perfect. And so he said he's going to unveil the Model 2, which will be around $20,000 to $25,000. And that's a very big deal. That is a game changer for EVs, especially coming from Tesla. This isn't like Ford or Chevy coming out with a $20,000 to $30,000 model, which will never happen. As a matter of fact, Ford actually has been shutting down their factories because they can't figure out the technology. They can't figure out how to charge correctly. They can't do anything without the help of Tesla. They can't do it. It's kind of like NASA today can't do anything without SpaceX, right? SpaceX builds everything for NASA, in case you don't know. They pretty much have taken over NASA and Space Force, to be honest with you, which is our military branch for outer space, which we're not going to get off topic, but I completely agree with this. People thought it was crazy when we started having the Air Force and we were going to fight in the sky. You got to understand this is where we're headed. Lasers and EMPs and all types of crap from outer space. So it was definitely needed. I feel like SpaceX should have been in control of it, in all fairness. But there's a lot of things going on in these instances, right? So we have the Model 2, and that'll be unveiled. And you can, when he put this out there, you can probably say that, I want to roughly say that he may have lost maybe about 15 to 20,000 car sales, automotive sales, the first quarter, due to the fact that probably a really low end, like 15 to 20,000 people, know that he's going to unveil the Model 2, but they're confusing it with them releasing the Model 2, and they probably want to wait for a cheaper variant from Tesla. This is not like Honda. It's not like Ford. This is like getting a Ferrari, right, for 40 or 50 grand. It's a really big deal. So people are wanting to wait for those instances right there alone. And you also have to keep in mind that a lot of other things have been transcending along the way. There's lots of misinformation going on in regards to EVs, and then you have this battle. Those of you with Teslas know this. We have a battle with lifted trucks, which I have a lot of videos I could post, but we're not going to get into that. But there's a whole battle going on right now. It's really weird. And but we have a lot of great stuff coming from Tesla this year. They announced that they are creating their own private 5G cellular network, which will only be accessible from Teslas and Optimus, because the Optimus Gen 2 was shown, and it's absolutely beautiful. It can pick up eggs. It has touch feel. Absolutely incredible. It almost runs now. But the Gen 3, I believe, now this is speculation, I believe the Gen 3 version of Optimus will be the one that goes on sale. He says he wants to make them under 20,000. I think it's probably going to come out to 25, 26. But realistically, for a robot like that to have in your household, 25, 26 is very reasonable, especially if you think of it like in the terms of it costs the price of a Civic. So people who are retired, things like that, this is a pretty easy thing for them to put a little down payment on and make monthly payments on like a car and it helped them around the house. Right. So kind of like Rosie the robot from the Jetsons, if that kind of helps you out a little bit to understand what this robot's meant, its capabilities for at-home use, residential. But that, I believe the Gen 3, I think that'll probably come out sometime next year or the year after. I think we're getting really close. But when that thing comes out, I said this before Elon did, I think it's going to be bigger than their automotive sector. I think it's going to be bigger than the cars. I think it's going to send that stock up to $500 a share. I think it's going to more than triple it once it gets going. Give it a couple years after its release. I think the stock will triple at that point. So if we're sitting at, let's say, 200, I think it'll surpass $500-600 because I think it's that big of a deal. I don't think people really understand just how big of a deal Optimus actually is. Forget residential use, all the commercial use that'll be kicked up with that as well. But the 5G network is a really big deal because we all know once that cellular system is out and the cars are running off of it, the Cybertruck, the Semi, Optimus, everything is running off of it, you very well know where he's headed. They are coming out with a smartphone and you already know it doesn't matter if it could look like a freaking piece of toilet paper. It ain't going to matter. It's going to go through the roof because people who can't afford Teslas want to own something by Tesla. So teenagers are going to want a phone that says Tesla all over it. It's kind of like in the 90s, if a kid could have a flip phone made by Ferrari, we would have been all over it, right? So that's going to be another really big thing. That, again, I don't think is going to be happening. I think you have the cellular network not for another year or two. I think the smartphone won't be for another 2 to 3 years. But if we're looking over the course of, let's say, 5 years, because that's usually how I do some of the sections of my analysis, say 5 years, I think we're going to be up to maybe an $800-900, $1,000 a share stock, maybe more. We have to see how things progress year by year, but that's where I'm looking at. It's absolutely beautiful. We're talking about, 8xing our money here over the next 5 years. That's a big freaking deal. That's a huge deal, especially if you're putting retirement money into something and you don't need it for 15, 20 years, right? Or 10 years. It's absolutely beautiful. So you have the Model T, you have Optimus, you have the smartphone. This is speculation. I guarantee you it's coming. Without a doubt in my mind, it will hurt Apple's stock. It will hurt Android stock. It will hurt everybody's stock. I think it's going to be a really big deal, especially if they also give you some type of like, when how your iPhone's going to SOS mode. If they can come up with an idea, this is my own idea, but so if it enters like an SOS mode where it has no cellular signal and it gives us Starlink connection for emergencies, it's over with. That's done. It's completely done because now you've got a satellite and a cellular tower phone all in one. It's over with. It's game over. I really think that's kind of needed, and I think that'll be a really big deal. But remember, the Cybertrucks aren't fully in production yet. They're pumping them out more and more every month. They're getting more gigapresses made. They're working on another gigapress. I think that's also going to help ramp things up. You have to remember, another reason why the sales are down is because how many people pre-ordered the Cybertruck? Not the cars for this year, the Cybertruck. That's what everybody wants right now. It's about the Cybertruck, the Cybertruck, the Cybertruck. Then you have the updated Model 3s, the updated Model Ys coming, the updated Model X is coming, the updated Model S is coming. You have the Plaid, which is the performance upgrade of the Model 3. I have the performance. They're making a Plaid version, which it's not worth another 80 grand, 70 grand to me because it only takes it from three seconds. Mine's around 3 seconds, 0 to 60. This, you can go 2.9, 0 to 60. Not really impressed. Not enough to make me want to upgrade. I have a Cybertruck pre-ordered like everybody else, but I've had it since like 2019 or so. That's the big deal. But that's why you're not seeing many numbers first quarter. You may not see many numbers the second quarter. But I'll tell you what, third, fourth, first quarter next year, it's going to freaking explode because everybody is wanting the updated Model 3. They want the updated performance. They want the updated, all the versions 3, S, Y, X, the Cybertruck. That's what everybody wants. They want these updates. Why would they want to buy an outdated car right now in Q1 just when they could wait a few more months to Q2 or Q3 and get the updated version. It's got a camera in the back. It's all LED. The whole interior is redesigned, and it's modeled after the current Model S, right? And so they're going to change the Model S and give that a new look, and then it'll trickle down into the 3, the next generation again for the Model 3. But that's why you're seeing low numbers. These analysts on your Barron's, Wall Street Journal, they're all idiots. They don't understand any of this, but they have to understand the market, the people, and that's not what anybody does. This is the problem. This is what separates me from everybody else on TikTok, YouTube, journals, Wall Street even. They don't want to analyze the people. They have to analyze the customer base. And I'm telling you, this is their mindset right now. Again, think about it. Would you want to spend $800 on an iPhone right now, let's just say Model 15, or wait 2 months, and for the exact same price, get the 16, completely redesigned, better processor, faster, new features, better camera, right? Everybody is waiting. That's what they're doing, right? So you have the Model 3, but you don't have the people who want to buy the performance, aka Plaid now, because the updated one isn't out yet. The updated Model Y isn't out yet. The updated Model X isn't out yet. And of course, the Cybertrucks are being pumped out. They have over 3 or 4 million pre-orders of the Cybertruck, but they can only pump out so many. Wait until they're rolling out 10,000 a week. 20,000 a month, 40,000 a month, right? Watch those numbers go through the frickin' roof. That's what everybody's waiting on. These people that, on these websites don't understand the market. That's the problem. They don't understand all these other features that are going on. But that's why you're seeing something like, again, 387,000 vehicles in one quarter is not low, first of all. That is a lot. I don't care what anybody says. That's a lot. Okay. They're actually number one in the world again. BYD beat them by like a nonsensical, stupid, minute number, but Tesla's back at number one, and that's not even with all these people who are waiting to buy the updated cars, who are waiting on their Cybertrucks, who want to see the Model 2. These are the things people are waiting for. Of course, you're going to see a dip right now. You know what? This dip, remember last year when I gave out, it was a little more than a year ago, around a year ago, it was early last year, Ethereum 800, Bitcoin 16,000, Tesla 103. Right? Verizon, when it was at 35, I said, wait for 30 and hold it. Now it's at 42. Remember, and then now that everything spikes, everybody wants to buy in. Well, it's too late now. You missed it. Well, right now what you want to do is wait and watch Tesla, because these numbers, people are so stupid when it comes to investing, especially with Tesla. These are like a bunch of Reddit kids that are involved in Tesla, right? So they just jump in pots and they don't know much. And so what's happening right now is you're seeing that slope because of this misinformation. I call it misinformation because it's not proper analyzation of the market or the company. So I call it misinformation because they're giving you wrong and incorrect information. But you're going to see it dip. This dip, this is where you want to buy. I don't care if it goes to 160 and you buy it and it goes to 150 the next day. You're good, I'm telling you, because once all this stuff starts coming out, it's going to trickle up. When the updated cars come out this year, it's going back up to 200. When that Model 2 gets unveiled, it's going to go up to 225, 230 plus. When that freaking network comes out, when the smartphone comes out, when Optimus comes out, you're going past 350. You're going closer to probably 4. When the smartphone comes out, probably 400 or 500. When you got Optimus coming out, you're going to be back up to like that $1,000 to $1,200 marker again. But of course, again, I don't think all this is happening in 1 year. They're spreading it out. I think we're looking at the course of 4 or 5 years at this point. So again, just to go over this list one more time, I'm probably going to edit this and try to put a list here. You have the updated models of the car coming out soon. That's what everybody wants. Then you're going to see Q3, the Q2 report, the summer report come out, Q2, Q3, and it's going to be beautiful. You're going to see the Cybertruck, when that starts ramping up production, those numbers are going to go through the roof and bring up their sales a lot. And then people are going to jump back in, and then it's going to go back up to 230, 240. You have the cellular network. I think that's another year or two out. And then I think probably a year after that, you'll have a smartphone. Because I think what's going to happen is they're going to show off the cellular network, and he's going to pull a Steve Jobs and be like, oh yeah, one more thing. And then he's going to, show his little stupid white cover on a phone and be like, yeah, there's a product we're working on. That's something kind of like what he did with the home AC units. Yeah, we're working on this, but we're not going to show it to you. They're working on a AC unit for the house, which cuts the electric bill down to like a quarter of what you're paying now. And it's supposed to have the biohazard mode. So it's supposed to create the pressurized system in your house against the windows to seal it and filter the air from chemicals and make it a sterile environment of that of a surgical room. That's what you have in the Model S and the Model X with biohazard mode, or biohazard mode. They changed the name at one point, and it creates a vacuum seal by pressurizing the interior glass, and then it completely is supposed to create the equivalent of a surgical room of the level of sterilization in the air sterilization anyways. That could be good or bad. Personally, I think I don't agree with too much air purification, because then your body gets used to it, and then you go outside and then your allergies are 5 times worse, in my opinion. At least that's been my experience with those types of machines. And sorry, they're doing construction across the street, building more houses. And but I mean, that's another big deal too. When that comes out, people are going to want to buy the crap out of that stuff as well, because they're all going to want the Tesla AC unit on their homes. That's another big deal. I think that's not probably coming out for like 3 or 4 years. That's so far down the road though. But you can see they're starting to get into the home appliances as well, right? So, I mean, you're talking about a company that's everywhere. Then you got their AI. They just finally released, it's out of beta, the true full self-drive. I was using the beta testing it. It's absolutely fucking incredible. It's out of beta testing now. Now it's in supervised mode, meaning you have to supervise the self-drive. But full self-drive was technically released. No problems from the automotive department yet, transportation yet. They tend to like to be, pains in the ass. But that's been beautiful. People have been freaking out over that, loving it. There's now a 1-month free trial for Tesla owners this month for it. So you can really see what it's capable of. It now includes AI. So your self-park actually is AI controlled, and it looks for empty spots. It shows it on the screen, and then you click whichever parking spot you want, and it goes to that parking spot and backs into it, which is, I've never seen any other car do that. There's self-parking for other cars, yes, but I've never seen a car show me the layout, like 10 spots on both sides, and show blue things to where I can pick the parking spot and then it back up. It's incredible. And he's also taking the company into AI as well. He's refusing to do so until he's given at least 25% of the company. And I understand this, and I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but I do, for the fact that most people don't understand AI. Most of the people on the board of Tesla don't understand AI. Hell, most of the people on the board of SpaceX don't understand AI. And when you have board members fighting you on the things should be done, it's a big issue. So I believe he truly does need 25%. I was one of the shareholders that voted yes to give him 25%. I know there weren't a lot, but I was one of them. And this didn't have to do with Elon Musk, blah, blah, blah. Any board member, in my opinion, the head, should be fully in charge of an AI department, because most people don't fully understand AI. It's just kind of gimmicky right now, but the potential is absolutely insane. He's talking about wanting to incorporate it into full self-drive. So when you're driving, it will, based on how cars are coming, if you're about to hit an accident, it instantly calculates, based on how all the cars are, the best trajectory to move the car, instead of just, hey, maneuver here and go. A preset of like a list that they go through A, B, C, D, E, and what to do. This one will actually calculate everything around it, be aware of what's going on, and make the best maneuver possible to save your life, which I think is absolutely incredible to incorporate the AI into the car. Now, again, I'm not really sure how far we go before we hit that Terminator threshold, but I still think if we're going to have rules in the car, we should, basically if you own a Tesla, you should be safe from any, world dominating takeover, hostile takeover from robots. I feel like that should be prerogative code law number 1 in the software itself, but that's just me. But then again, I have a Tesla, so it makes me feel like I'm not going to be murdered in the middle of the night by a robot. But I would just recommend everybody, I'll make a video for everybody here. It's illegal for me to do it on TikTok. I'll show you guys how to make an EMP for like 50, 60 bucks. So should your robot takeover come over, you can go to Ace Hardware, make a EMP, and just take out all the robots. But yeah, so there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things I'm looking for. I still think we can be pushing 250, 300 by the end of the year for Tesla. But again, we have to hit certain things. He needs to unveil the Model 2. He needs to release the Plaid Model 3. He needs to release the updated Model Y. He needs to unveil the S and the X updates and get the pre-orders for them as well. And I think we're looking really good. Again, he came out of nowhere with the private cellular 5G network for Tesla and them. I knew it was coming. Everybody speculated Starlink, and I was thinking I used Starlink on my house. I got rid of it after 3 months because here in Florida look right. I don't know if you can't. I have the background. It's dark. It's a normal day. It's dark as hell. And when it rains, normal Florida rain is a downpour, and you can't get any signal. So I was not a big fan of Starlink. And you can't do anything to fix that. I mean, because, when signal, or a laser for that matter, hits a water particle, it disperses, and there's no way to correct that. So the fact that he announced the cellular network, and he's going to start with the actual factories, the Tesla factories, the gigafactories, with the networks, and then he's going to put them in every single one of the Tesla service centers and auto repair shops, right? So those are all going to be the main hubs to begin with for the cellular service. And then they're probably in the beginning, if that's what they're doing, they're probably going to, because they're using AT&T right now. And with the boosters they have in that car, for those of you who don't have a Tesla, there are 2 boosters in this car. And usually when you have a booster, there's pros and cons because it can also increase the interference, right? With these, it's insane. I can have, this is Verizon, right? Verizon can have 0 signal, SOS. That car will be 5 out of 5, 4G, LTE. I can have an AT&T phone with 0 signal. That thing will still say 5 out of 5. It's crazy how that thing works. So I think they're going to subsidize the contract, like a partial contract, rewrite the contract. So it's basically going to work with anytime you're near their Tesla service centers or the Tesla gigafactories, you'll use Tesla signals. Whenever you're outside of that range, I think you'll be using AT&T, and then they're going to start putting up their own towers. Most companies rent Verizon towers. For those of you who don't know, Verizon owns like 93% of the towers in this country. Companies like T-Mobile, AT&T, they usually rent spaces on Verizon towers. AT&T has a bunch of towers now of their own. I think T-Mobile started doing a bunch, but the majority of them are still renting Verizon towers. However, Elon wants to build his own towers and not rent any spaces. This way he can control the whole entire infrastructure and make it a private network. And this network, again, will only be accessible to Teslas, Optimus, and my speculation, their smartphones, which is going to be massive. So I think that's kind of how it's going to go out. So you're probably looking, 4 or 5 years down the road until it's a fully covered, actual cellular network by Tesla. That'll be a massive deal. Again, the AI is a massive deal for the future. Your AC at home is a massive deal. AI is a massive deal. I mean, the company, goes up and down, but that's because you have a lot of Reddit people in there, and that kind of offsets everything. And, what these people do is they'll buy it like a month before the report, and then they sell it after the report. It's a common cycle. We see it, 4 times. We see it 4 times a year, literally. And I think, again, the long run, it's beautiful. Where people keep talking about, it's down 8% from last year. What the fuck are you talking about? Bitch, we were at 103 last year. What the hell are you talking about? Our bottom was like around 160, 155 this year. We're up. I don't know what these people are talking about. I think these people just hate Tesla because they hate Elon Musk. Same thing we saw, it's kind of like with a president. If you hate the president, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter how much good the Democrat or Republicans do. Doesn't matter. Trump could cure cancer. Biden could cure cancer. People who didn't vote for them don't give a shit, right? It's so Elon kind of falls in that category now ever since he said to vote Republican to create an offset because we had a Democrat in the White House. And now he's bought Twitter, gave everybody free speech, conservatives, left, right. Everybody has free speech now. There's no shunning or silencing either side. So he's become a target. So these companies, lie and manipulate information. But I thought that would be a better way, a bigger reason, more important reason as to why I should live stream my analysis and my price target for Tesla this year, so I can talk about some of these things, because these things are very important. So this is why I always say, I know Stat will recommend, hey, read this site or that site. No offense, Stat. I've heard you say this though. And I don't agree with that. It's kind of like, it's very similar to politics when it comes to, politics are involved in investments in stock and crypto. So it's kind of the same thing when somebody says, go to Barron's or go to Wall Street Journal, right? That's the equivalent of somebody saying, hey, watch Fox or watch CNN, right? They're both pushing their party, right? Fox is right, CNN is left. It's kind of the same thing. Wall Street Journal is far left. Barron's it leans right. So it's kind of like, this is where you'll start seeing these things fall apart. It's kind of very similar to politics. I go very unbiased. I don't care. At the end of the day, I just want everybody to succeed at what the hell they're doing, so it doesn't hurt the economy or the country. I don't care left, right. Doesn't fucking make any difference to me as long as you do your job, at the end of the day. But But you have to pay attention to that. So people who try to get their info from websites and say, well, this says this says that, this is the reason for this. It's not always true. You really have to get to the bottom of this. And again, my theory, again, is I think people are holding out for the updated versions of the vehicles, which are coming out in a couple months. Again, I'll give you, my comparison, right, of if you're gonna buy a phone for $800 or wait 2 months and have it completely upgraded, better processor, better screen, better cameras, pay the same exact price, $800. Would you wait the 2 months? I know I would. And I think that's what everybody's doing. And everybody else has orders on Cybertrucks. So they're not buying Teslas. You got 3-4 million orders for Cybertrucks, pre-orders. So that's taken away 3-4 million purchases from the other Tesla vehicles, because these people want Teslas, but they want the Cybertruck, right? So they're waiting on that. They can only pump out so many. So nobody cares about these numbers right now. They're updating their factories. They're updating their vehicles. Of course, there's going to be a down cycle. And again, 387,000 rounded is not a down cycle by any means, right? Oh my God, 8% less. But again, that's really minute. I think 387, hell, I think 350,000 would have been freaking amazing, which I was guessing 365, but 350,000 would still be amazing, because you gotta remember, all these people are waiting for the updated models of the vehicles. They're waiting for the Cybertruck. They're waiting to see if the Model 2 comes out this year. These are the things the Tesla customer base is looking at, right? So all these numbers, who gives a crap? They're not going to mean shit at the end of the year, because at the end of the year, the numbers are going to be back through the freaking roof in Q4, Q1 of next year. They're going to be through the freaking roof. So right now, everybody's complaining about Tesla. This is not the time to complain about Tesla. This is the time to watch Tesla. This is the time to buy in on Tesla. You buy the low, you sell the high, right? I told everybody when it was like 115, I said Tesla was going to 103 last time. I said that's when I bought it, 102 to 103. Then I told everybody when I sold it at 280. I told everybody in here, I'm selling it at 280. I think it's going to drop again, and I'm going to rebuy it. Well, guess what? I bought it again at like 164, 165. I think it went to 160. So I rebought it back in at 164, 165. And you know what? Guess what? I think, aren't we up already? Aren't we past like 170 today? Let me see what the exact, I haven't looked this morning because I've been on here. 165. So I'm around even, but that's fine, because you know what? At the end of the year, we're going to be back up over 250 again by the end of the year. So that doesn't mean shit to me, because again, these numbers mean nothing when you have your customer base waiting for updated products and a vehicle that can't be pushed out more than, 20 freaking vehicles a week, right? So when these gigapresses get rolling and they're pumping out, 20,000 Cybertrucks a freaking month, those numbers are going to go through the roof. When everybody's buying the updated Model 3 and Y and S and X, these numbers are going to go through the roof. When the cellular network comes out, through the roof. When the Model 2 pre-orders come out, through the fucking roof. I'm telling you, the Model 2 pre-orders are going to go through the roof. It doesn't matter how ugly it is. It can look like a Honda Civic from 1995. It's going to go through the roof, man. I'm telling you. I know you had they have some competition. One of the competitors is coming out with a 20. They're calling it a $20,000 model car. It's $29,000. Well, guess what? When the Model 3 first came out, it was $29,000 also, and then they upped it over time. Same as what's going to happen to this. And let me tell you, this competitor's $20,000 model, which is really a $30,000 plus model, absolute garbage. It's ugly as shit. It looks like a freaking Kia, to be honest with you. The Kias that have the 9-inch nail logos. What is it, Elantra? Is that what I'm thinking of? Well, it has that weird, like, it has a cool, I still think their back ends are cool because they're squaring them off kind of. But I like the squared off look, and it's more aerodynamic. That's why I like the Cybertruck so much. But everything in here is squared off. My whole house is squared off. But yeah, those are the things we're looking for. That's the clarification I wanted to put out as to why the numbers were low, because nobody seems to understand this. All these people talk like they know stock, like they know crypto. They don't know shit. They don't understand the customer base. They don't understand the personal mindset of the customers, of the people. And I think that's very important. This is why I always say, when people say, teach me how you do this, I need to know specifically how you do this. I can't, because you have to always analyze literally everything going on in the country and the world all the time. The people, the companies, the people that work at the companies, every single product they're working on, every single announcement, what's going on in politics that's going to drive certain people to. You have to be able to predict people's mindsets. It's not something you can teach. The problem is I have OCD, ADHD, and ADD all mixed into one, and I don't take medication. So my mind that's why I love stock and I'm so good at it, and crypto and investments, is because I focus on 50 different things perfectly with my ADHD, right? I can always focus on all of them at the same time. So it kind of comes out really clean for my mind. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify all that. So now we're going to open this up. If anybody has any questions, now's the time to ask. If you think I left anything out, happy to let you know now. Just use the message section. Where am I? Yeah, right up there. At least if you're on a computer, it's right up there. So I know we have a few I was going to read. See champions writing. So yeah, again, that's where we're at. I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to try to post any questions you have. Now is the perfect time to ask them. I'm going to unmute Stat. He always wants to talk. So if he wanted to ask anything as well, Stat, you're clear to talk, I think, if you want. And if anybody has any questions as well. Again, all of this is been recorded and it will be put out for platinum and yeah, it's been recorded. I had to double check. It'll be put out for platinum and legendary members I was thinking about making a platinum section because we have quite a few freaking platinum members at this point. But I'll post the legendary section is open to platinum members. I'm going to post a link for the video in there. It'll be a private link with a password, and I'll have the password in there. So you guys can rewatch this if you need to. I know some of you are working, so you're probably hearing bits and pieces, and I talk fast, and I get my ADHD, I bounce around a lot. And so if you need to clarify for your own sense of mind. Oh, hold on. What'd you say?
I said hello.
Hello. Hey.
I have a question. Are you looking for? When I was talking to the guys, and I don't know anything. I didn't know any of these things you were talking about that's going on with Tesla. Obviously, you know it so well. Normally, I tell the guys I love to buy Tesla after their quarterly reports because no matter how good they are, stock always seems to drop.
Yeah, it's the Wall Street bet kids. They buy before and they sell. I mean, we see it 4 times a year, like I said. It's such a common thing at this point.
When's the next? I know they just reported on the amount of cars that they had come out. Do you know when the next earnings report is by any chance?
The earning reports usually take place a few weeks after the quarterly reports.
Okay. So do you think, is it?
And it depends, because sometimes he likes to do the live events, and sometimes he likes to do the voice events on X.com. So it usually takes a couple weeks for him to decide what he wants to do with everything.
So is it worth waiting till after that report to see if you buy, or you're thinking now because it's long term? You're thinking like 5 years.
Well, you got to remember the sales and what they're making are not the same thing. Because you have all the pre-orders, right? You have all the pre-orders. You have all the other products that people are buying. So people keep trying to look at this is the problem I have with people that invest in Tesla, right? It's not like Honda or Ford where it's like, oh, okay, they had this many car sales. We can kind of get an idea of what their profits are, right? You can't do that with Tesla because their pre-orders are so freaking through the roof, right? And they're getting money from all this stuff. Then you have to remember all the products they have in their store that's sold out all the time. And then they have all this other stuff that people buy. The accessories are always sold out. I mean, all this stuff goes completely through the roof that people don't calculate for Tesla. And you have to also keep in mind, then you have full self-drive. Think about the beta that just came out. How many people are going to buy full self-drive? Because I'm telling you, I had the beta, now it's out of beta, and that thing is amazing. And people will pay 12 grand for that or $199 a month. So you have money coming in there as well. People don't calculate all the variables in the equation. That's my problem. That's why I never listen to anybody when it comes to investments. I won't listen to Warren Buffett. I won't listen to Cathie Woods. I think they're all idiots, but that's my opinion. And not saying idiots to degrade them. I'm just saying based on the definition, I don't think they look at things, the whole picture with companies like Tesla. So there's a lot of things that you have to remember for profits for the quarter. You can't calculate that based on how many vehicles are sold. That's why I say these basically what I call the vehicle reports. It's stupid because think about when the smartphone comes out, they're going to tell you, oh, we sold 400,000 cars, but they're going to leave out the fact that they just sold 50 million phones, right? So they're going to leave all that information out, and then people will base it on that. And it doesn't work that way with Tesla because it's such a broad company. There's so many so much revenue. You got to remember, they are also the fourth largest Bitcoin holder. Bitcoin is at an all-time high, so let's calculate that money as well that they're leaving out, right? They have over 4,000 Bitcoins owned by Tesla that aren't being calculated. You can't go by this report. That's why we say I don't care about this report. You never hear me talking. When was the last time you ever heard me talk about these reports? I don't care because they mean nothing with Tesla. It means nothing for their profit whatsoever. Nothing. They could sell 0 cars and still make a fuck ton of money. It means nothing.
Right. Okay. I guess the next earnings report is the 23rd for whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
April. You said 2 weeks, so it's about.
Well, 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, it's usually when it is.
Yeah. So it's the 23rd. Okay. Yeah. That was my, because I always seem to like. Normally, you hated to buy in afterward because, but it doesn't make any difference how good or bad they do. Everybody just wants to sell it, but that's a good time to buy generally, so that's good.
Yeah, and again, these reports don't mean shit. That's why you never hear me talk about them in the Discord. They're worthless. They mean nothing. What means something is the profits, what they profited, what they made. That's those reports mean everything.
Well, that's the one on the 23rd.
Correct.
Right? That's
yes.
the news report.
And that's the one that you always see me in here talking or having a live stream and sharing the stream. Because again, with Tesla, that is the only thing that freaking matters.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm glad you came in. I'm sure. Did any of the other members have any questions? Did anybody post anything?
C Champion keeps typing and then he stops and then he types and then he stops, but. He's like, I think he wants to ask a question, but he's not asking a question. I don't know. Reminds me of my freaking ex-wife. It's like, nope. Changed my mind. An hour later, nope. Another hour. Oh, here was the question I had from 2 hours ago.
It's funny because if they're when we're trading, they'll always ask me questions about, a lot of them on Tesla. And I said, well, talk to Michael. I mean, DM him. Don't ask me. I'm not the guru on Tesla. I still own stock in it, but it's like, that's your
see Champion's typing again.
This is like secondary information for.
This is like people who like read your text and then they start texting and they stop. Oh my God, it drives me nuts. See Champion, I only have one pet peeve and you're hitting it right now. You're nailing it right now. Listen, I can listen to 5 people like yell at me and want to say they want to murder me for an hour and it doesn't bother me at all. The only thing that ever bothers me is when somebody types and stops, types and stops, types and stops. It's the only thing that drives like my ADHD fucking crazy. Oh, he did. Okay. I may have missed this. You don't have to apologize. What are your feelings?
There's a good question right there.
What are your feelings will happen during the Bitcoin halving? Yeah. So Bitcoin, the halving, we've been seeing it increase the closer we get to the halving. So you're seeing the effects of it already. Everybody's buying it and speculation of it. I think after the halving, I think it's going to dip some and then it'll go back up. We're already at an all-time high. I already told everybody, I said, get it. I said, my exact words in the live stream. Remember when it was 16 and a half. My exact words in the live stream in this Discord. Every single person, if you can afford it, buy and own at least one Bitcoin and hold it for the next year to 2 years. And it will hit another all-time high and you will be so fucking happy. Those are my exact words in a live stream. I have to see if I can find that video. But those are my exact words back when it was near 16,000. Everybody said, oh, it's going to 5, it's going to 4. No, it's not, you jerk-offs. I said 16,000. Everybody buy and hold at least one Bitcoin if you can afford it. Now we hit an all-time high. Again, you're going to see another dip. This is Bitcoin since 2009. You'll see another dip, and then it'll go up even higher than it was before. Eventually, I think we're going to be passing $100,000. Eventually, I'm not telling you to buy at 70,000 and then it dips to 50,000, 40,000, and then shoots up past 100. Okay, but it will. But this is exactly why I said to buy it at 16,000. I said, I don't think you'll ever see it hit 16,000 again. Now is when you want to buy Bitcoin. Of course, it hits an all-time high. I have members messaging me. No offense to some of you. It wasn't any of the legends. It was the lower tiers that were messaging me saying, oh, when's a good buy-in? I said, well, a year ago. Well, when should I buy? I said, I don't know when you should buy at this point, but I'll tell you what you should do. Build a fucking time machine, go back in time when I said to buy it at 16,000 and fucking buy. Because again, so many people there's so many people that are confused and they're like, oh, now it's exploding. Well, now you see people on TikTok telling you to buy Bitcoin. Now you see people wanting to buy Bitcoin. Where was everybody when I said 16,000, buy it, hold it for over a year? Everybody, if you can afford one fucking Bitcoin, everybody in here should buy and hold at least one Bitcoin. C Champion said, I remember those words. Exact fucking words I gave everybody. So I don't give a shit if I don't put a stock out for 4 months. You know what I did? I just turned $16,000 into $70,000 in a year. That alone should be fucking good enough for everybody, right? But Tesla 103, I told everybody when I was selling at 280. And same with Ethereum. I said, if you can't afford Bitcoin, you don't want to invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum is the second best thing. I think it has the possibility of even making a higher profit than Bitcoin if they do some things right. And look at that. It's at an all-time high. My buy-in was 800. You know, all you had to do is hold it a year. But again, you hold these things for a year and you come out with over 1,000% profit in a year. That's what matters, what you made that year, not what you made that day. And I think a lot of people are confusing investments like that. And it's just not realistic. I didn't make my money overnight. I made my money over the span of 10 years holding Bitcoin, right? So you got to remember these things. So did, I hate bringing up his name. No offense. He says the stupidest crap. Now, it could be because he's 96 years old. Warren Buffett didn't make his money. He invested when he was younger, held it till he was like 50 and 60 years old. You know, none of these people made their money overnight. Of course, now he kind of ruined his image when he said a couple of years ago, this was Warren Buffett. You can go look up his quote in a video. He said he would not take every single Bitcoin for $25. Well, you're a moron. You mean nothing in the investing world after that comment, because the $25 instantly would have been $1 billion flip instantly. Right. So I don't really like to quote him too much. He kind of really doesn't know his shit anymore. He was good back in the day, but again, you know, people want stuff like every day, and it's just not realistic. I mean, right now, Tesla's a good time to start watching. Bitcoin, no, it's not. Ethereum, no, it's not. Verizon, no, it's not. Oh, let me point out one more thing, though. I have a lot in Verizon. I bought it when it hit 30, like I told everybody. I still have it. It's at 42 with an 8% yearly annual yield dividend. And I am kind of worried about Verizon. Verizon's the best network in the country. They own all the towers. The majority of other companies, their competition, rents out space on those said towers. But when Tesla gets completely accessible in the terms of their products, and that 5G, private 5G wireless network goes live for the Teslas and the their Optimus, their Androids, and then they announce their smartphone. I'm bouncing. I'm just giving everybody a heads up. This could be 2 years from now. I'm giving everybody a fucking 2-year, 3-year heads up on this one. Okay? This is how far ahead I am with my shit. And this is what I'm thinking. When that stuff becomes live, I'm out of Verizon completely. And I'm done, because that shit is going to tank. That shit's going to go to like $25, $26 a share. I'm telling you, if maybe 30 at best, and that will be its level out. That shit's going to drop to almost, it's going to lose 40 to 50% of its value when Tesla's cellular network, and I'm saying cellular network and the announcement of a smartphone. Especially when the phones come out, that Verizon stock is gonna get hurt. AT&T is gonna get devastated. iPhone's gonna get devastated. Google's gonna get devastated. These people, I'm giving you guys a 2 to 3 year heads up on this. They're gonna fucking hurt them. Tesla, like I said, they're gonna. I don't know, man. You might as well just call them Skynet, like I said a couple of years ago, because they're just gonna dominate every sector here by 2030. It's completely insane. That's why I said I think it's gonna be a $3,000-$4,000 stock. By 2030, I think it's going to be absolutely massive, because you're going to have Optimus, cellular, smartphones, probably at that point, a freaking flying car, knowing them. I don't fucking know at this rate. But you'll have the Model 2. You have the SpaceX designed Roadster. Yes, the new Roadster is designed by SpaceX, for fuck's sake. That thing does 0 to 60 in less than 1 second. And they clocked it at 260 miles per hour and had to stop it. It was still going. They ran out of space to see what the top speed actually is on the new Roadster. They had to stop around 260. So that's all they know is that they pushed it to 260 and had to put it down, because SpaceX designed an air propulsion system for this car. And it's a 4-seater on top of it. I mean, who the hell wants a Bugatti after that, right? Fuck Bugatti. They're $30,000 freaking oil changes. Screw that car. Bugatti. Only chumps buy Bugattis after the Roadster is released. How do you feel it will affect the other coins? Ethereum's going to go up with it, as it always does. I gave out Dogecoin. I told everybody to buy it when it was at 3 cents. It's now at like, 20 cents around there? Last I looked yesterday or the day before, it's around 20 cents. So that exploded too. I told everybody 3 cents. Dogecoin, buy it up. Dogecoin, I think will probably hit 30, 35 cents, conservatively speaking. 22 cents yesterday. That was close. So I told everybody to buy Dogecoin at 3 cents. I think not the legends or platinum members, but the lower tier members, a lot of the apes and wolves, elites. So a lot of the elites too. I can't help anybody outside of telling you the buy-ins, right? And people then people keep messaging. I must have like 30 messages over the last month alone, or last couple of weeks actually alone. People wanting buy-ins. Well, everything, don't buy in now. I wouldn't buy shit right now. Right now we're making money. We're not buying. We bought a year ago to hold for this moment. This was the moment we were waiting for, to make our 1,000, 2,000 freaking percent long-term with long-term capital gain tax, right? This is what we were waiting for. No, I promise people don't want to listen, which I get. Some of them are nervous. Some of them are new. Some of them have been here since the day one of opening this Discord 3 years ago, right? Was it 2021? And they know better. They don't get an excuse, right? But there's no buy-in right now. Right now, we're making the money. I don't know how else to put that. But like I said, Tesla's the exception out of that on that rule. We're going to go back into stock for a second. This is a time to watch it for a buy-in. Again, I got in like around 164, 165. It could go to 155, 150, but it's not going to go to 100. It's not going to go to 110 again. It's not going to go to 103 again. But now is the time for a good buy-in for the long-term hold. Again, this will be another year-long hold, another long-term hold, not a day trade. Now, keep in mind that could flip. Like I said, I told everybody like 8 months after I bought Tesla at 103 that I was selling at 280, and then it dipped down to like 220 or something. But again, I tell people when I'm going to sell it. I don't just like leave you guys there. But Verizon I still have, Ethereum, Bitcoin still have those. Tesla, I rebought it, but I sold it 280. The platinum members, when I do all this stuff, you're going to get text messages. Don't worry. When all this happens, you guys are going to get it first before I post it in the Discord. I'll send it to you guys first. After all the platinum members have my info, then I'll post it in the legend section and the stock section. But yeah, that's kind of where all that stuff is. I don't do these shit. I call them shit coins. I had Doge since like 0.0006776 around there. I had it really early. I threw like 10 grand at that and then sold it at like, what was it? Over 60 cents. So I made a lot off of Doge, but Dogecoin was another exception, right? Shiba Inu, I made some money off of there, but, I don't go into those like really low end fraction of a penny shit coins anymore. Doge, back when Doge came out, it wasn't a massive flood of bullshit. That came from 2021 and GME and AMC era, right? And all these people started mass producing all these shit coins. Well, the problem is they're manipulating it. They're faking their own coin to make it look like it's going up. And then when people buy it, they sell, they have like 80% of the coins and they sell them. And just to make millions of dollars and screw people over. So I don't deal with that shit anymore. And a lot of the times, again, it's falsified. They're not really going up. People are faking the software. So I tend to stay away from that shit outside of like Shiba Inu and Doge. Those are kind of like the only lower end. I call them lower class, the peasant coins, if you want to be an asshole about it. The peasant coins. I don't really look into any of the other trash, and you'll see these people come on here saying, oh, well, you missed this 13,000%. Yeah, it didn't go up 13,000%. It was faked. It was faked in the software. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. That didn't actually happen. So a lot of these people are faking the value in the software of the coin now. and it's given these false jumps. So I don't even fuck with it, because one false jump and you lose 50 grand, right? 20 grand, 5 grand, $1,000. Some people even $100. That's a lot to them, right? So I don't fuck around with that. I can't validate the authenticity of most of the coins anymore because there's an endless amount of bullshit coins. So I just don't do it. So my main focus, again, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, Shiba Inu, give and go. Give and take. I could go either way on Shiba Inu. So with all that said, if we don't have any other questions, what was this, like a 40-minute live stream? So what was that? Oh my God, I can't even move my software. Yeah, an hour. We were an hour. Sorry, I'm allergic to shit coins. Or talk about them, I start sneezing. I got a few mil of Shiba Inu. Would love to see it explode. What did Shiba? Where is Shiba? I haven't looked at Shiba Inu in so long. I mean, it's doing good. I mean, we had it all the way back at 0.00009. So, it's holding its own. I mean, in the last year, it's gone up almost 150%. That's more than doubling your money in a year. I think Shiba Inu still has some room to grow. I think it could double your money again. I think you could see another 100% at some point. I'm not really against Shiba Inu. M. Shaw is typing again, so we'll give him a second. Do I have any Gatorade left? Oh my God. But not into the dollars. No, I don't think you're going to see it hit $1. I think that's never going to happen. I don't even think you're going to see it hit a penny. I can see a thousandth, definitely. I can see it getting to like 1 or 2 thousandths of a penny. But if you think about that, that's a lot of fucking money, bro. That's a lot of money, man. If you're in even at, 0.00027, even if you're in like 100,000th and it goes to 1,000th, I mean, that's a good chunk of fucking money right there, bro. A lot of money. Dogecoin, I don't think you'll see it hit $1. I think you might. Again, it kicked the crap out of XRP, and then all the wannabe crypto enthusiasts, I kicked the shit out of them on TikTok with XRP. What is XRP at now? 58 cents. Remember when XRP went to 80 cents? I said, I'm selling all my XRP. You'll never see it go higher than this. And everybody goes, oh, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Bullshit. And then it went to 48 cents. It's never even come close. Never fucking come close to that shit ever again. I sold it at 80, what was it, 80 cents, right? Yeah, 80 cents. I think it went to 82. Guess what? Ain't none of those XRP wannabe enthusiasts talking it to me anymore. I'll tell you that shit, because it's never gone to 80 cents again. I don't think you'll ever see Doge hit $1. I think Doge kind of had its run. I think you'll see maybe 40 cents again, 50 cents again, 60 if you're lucky. But you never know. I mean, fucking some trillionaire may say, I'm going to buy all of Doge one day and send it through the roof. Yeah, those videos still exist. Hell, I think that video is even on YouTube now. I'll post the link in the legendary section today. Ledger, that's where I have all my fucking Bitcoin and Ethereum. What was that? Hell, my Dogecoin alone is 600%. I didn't even know I still had Dogecoin. I guess I do. 600% even. That's nice. Over the last year with Dogecoin. So, but yeah, I'll post that for you. So if anybody has any more questions, This is being recorded. I'll upload it to like YouTube with a private link and shit and password, and you guys can watch it if you need to go back or whatever. So with all that said, thank you everybody for being members. Glad that you... Hold on, let me check SOL for him real quick. Solana, oh god. I haven't been keeping up with Solana. I need to see what the hell's going on with them. Are they still doing Web3? I believe they're still Web3. Yeah, they're still Web3. I never really had a problem with Solana. I was just, that was kind of like a get in, get out kind of thing for me. What are they at? 180, 180. Oh, they're at 190 now. They went up 3.5% today. I'd have to look more into Solana. I haven't really looked much. I haven't been keeping up with them. I'd have to see what they're doing. But I would say over the last year, they had a pretty good fucking run, 800%. They went up 170 bucks. You invested a year ago, you did real well. But I mean, Solana's always been up there underneath Ethereum. But I still think Ethereum and Bitcoin are stronger. Obviously. Again, I don't have anything against Solana though. Yeah, 190. So I have to look more into Solana. Again, I haven't kept up with that. That's one of the ones I kind of bought, held, sold, made, kind of doubled my money on and tripled it, whatever it was, 2.8%. It's like 2.5x my money, 2.8x my money, around there. Almost 3x my money with Solana. But I'll read more up on them and see what they're doing and what their changes are, where they're headed. I know XRP was always like, I had XRP since like 5 cents though, and I sold it at like 80. I held that damn thing forever. So, I mean, XRP at the time was always good, but it's kind of like people that really never didn't know anything what they were talking about when it comes to crypto. And they're like, oh, when the lawsuit's over, this thing's going to go hundreds of dollars. No, it's not. No, it's fucking, it never was. Never was. Those people talked out their ass so much. It struggles to make a buck as it is. There's no lawsuit. It still struggles to make $1, So, an Ethereum ATF, I don't see why not. Who's doing an Ethereum ATF? I know because I know there were some companies that submitted an Ethereum ETF. I'm trying to see if there was any update on it though. I haven't looked in like a month. I'm just trying to see if there was any companies that were still even. Bitwise. I mean, honestly, an Ethereum ETF probably would hold the same percentage almost as Bitcoin. Not going to lie. Bitcoin ETFs are better. Ethereum ETFs aren't terrible. I mean, you'll make money in them for sure, but there's over 68 ETFs. Jesus fuck. As of a week ago. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a lot of ETF applications. I think some of them will go through, but I think that's a lot of applications, man. They're not all going through. You just got to get the right ETF. But I don't see why they wouldn't approve them. They're not going to approve 50 of them, but I don't see why they wouldn't approve 1 or 2 of them for sure. I mean, if Bitcoin got approved, Ethereum should be. There's not really much of a difference. I mean, Ethereum's just almost as sound as Bitcoin, I should say. Oh, well, that's an interesting advertisement. A mom who wrote a children's book about grief after her husband died was just charged for murdering her husband. Interesting advertisement. But yeah, so if there aren't any other questions, we'll go ahead and end this live stream. Thank you, everybody who is a member. We're going to do another one probably next week for Verizon. I'm going to do it live again as a video. I think it works a lot better. And then this way you can hear it from my own mouth, right? With all that said, I hope everybody has a great week, makes a ton of money, continues to make a ton of money, and I will see everybody next week. I might do a live stream tomorrow for non-legends. I mean, if you're a legend and platinum member, you can join, but it's just going to be open to more people, but we're not going to talk about the things I talked about in here. This is for legends and platinum members only. But I just wanted to clarify a bunch of stuff that people were not talking about Tesla correctly, and it was bugging the hell out of me. So with all that said, I hope everybody has a great week, makes a ton of money, and as always, I'll see you next time or tomorrow. Yeah. Take care.